Hi everyone, welcome to Shell's Sugar Rush. Welcome back if you've been here before. Today I'm sharing with you this very beautiful and elegant cake that I'm making for a special couple's 50th wedding anniversary. What an honor it was to be able to make this cake for their special day. If you enjoy things like this, stick around and watch me put it together. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell so you'll be notified when I upload more cakes like this in the future. So let's get into it. So this cake is going to be 2 tiers. So I am starting with a 12-inch cake board, and the first tier, or bottom tier rather, is going to be a vanilla cake. And I am doing an American buttercream with this. I am going to fill in the layers, and of course I'm going to give it a nice crumb coat. I've used 3 layers on each tier for this cake, just to balance out the height of everything. So here I'm just finishing that crumb coat, and I'm going to give it just a nice smooth down. And then we're going to pop this one in the fridge and let it chill for just a bit. And I'm going to bring out that second tier and start working on it. So for our top tier, I am starting with a 6-inch cake board because this is a 6-inch tier. I have 3 layers of chocolate cake here, and I'm going to fill those in again with that American buttercream, and just give it a nice clean crumb coat. And then I will be popping this one in the fridge to chill it, and we will bring our bottom tier back out and get that final coat going on it. So our bottom tier is chilled and ready. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and put that final coat on, and I'm starting with the top, and then I will go ahead and put some dowels in this. I'm going to put 3 wooden dowels in this bottom tier just to give that support for the top tier. So once I get these dowels cut and in the cake, then I'm going to go ahead and finish that final coat on the cake, and we'll get it smoothed down real good, and then I'm going to actually add some texture on this cake for the design. So I won't be necessarily popping it back in the fridge right away. So here I'm just finishing up that final coat, just making sure I have plenty of buttercream on here, and I'm taking my offset spatula and just going around the cake and spinning the cake and holding that spatula to the cake just to make those textured grooves in it that you see here. Now you can see here I've went ahead and placed the chilled top tier directly onto the bottom tier. This will just make it a little easier because I don't want to texture the buttercream and then have to move this tier and put it on top. So I'm going to go ahead and do my final coat with it on the top of the bottom tier, and you can see here I'm doing that. I'm just giving it a nice generous coat of the buttercream, and I did use my bench scraper and just take a little bit of that off and do some filling. And I'm taking that offset spatula just as I did with the bottom tier and going around to create that same texture on the top tier. So now with this cake, I am actually going to be adding gold roses to this cake. So to prepare the gold roses, I've actually used artificial gold roses, and I've just taken some toothpicks. They're large toothpicks kind of with a flat top that will stick nicely into the hole in the bottom of those gold roses. And I've secured a toothpick into each one, and then went around and just strategically placed my roses cascading down the cake. And I'm sorry you guys, don't have a really good angle for you to see what I'm doing here, but I will turn the cake around in just a moment and you'll be able to see. But I wanted to go kind of down from the left side, coming down, cascading along the cake down to the right side. And that is what I'm doing here, and you can kind of see that as I turn it a little bit, but like I said, you will see that better in just a moment. And here you go. There's the look I was going for with the cascading down the cake. So now I'm going to start with some letters. So here I'm using my tappets, and I love these letter molds when I want to get a more elegant look on the cake. I'm using some gold fondant, and I'm just going to roll that out and then use the tappet molds to create the letters that I want for the names that are going to go on the cake board. And these are pretty easy to use. As you can see here, you just kind of press it into the fondant, and I kind of, mash it and move it around a little bit just to cut into it real well. And then you just snap it back almost like a ruler and pop them out of there. And of course, it does help to use a little cornstarch inside these as well. That does make it just a little easier to get them out. And now that I have my letters done, I am going to brush them with a little gold dust just to make them pop a little bit. And once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and place them actually onto the cake board. I don't know about you all, but I like to place my letters on the cake board and kind of decide where they're going to go and make sure they're even with the front of the cake before I actually secure them onto the board. And then at that point, I'll go ahead and take a little piping gel and just secure the letters one at a time in place. And that way I know that they're not going to be moving around or falling off when this cake is transported. And I also cut 2 little hearts out as well with that gold fondant, and I wanted to place a heart on each end of the names. So here I'm just finishing securing those names, and then our cake will be ready. So here you go, our cake is complete. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, definitely make sure and give it a thumbs up. And don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you'll be notified when I upload more cakes in the future. Thank you so much for your support, and I will see you next time.